Good morning dear students. Welcome to class 9th and today we are going to start the first chapter of your chemistry syllabus, and that chapter is the state of about the matter is what is the matter in our surroundings. So before starting about the chapter, first of all you should know what is chemistry, as I have just talked about the term chemistry. As I said, it is the first chapter of your chemistry syllabus. So what is chemistry? In science we have various branches. The branches are like physics, chemistry, biology. These are three fundamental branches. Otherwise you may have number of other branches and other subdivisions also. So what is chemistry? Chemistry is the branch of science which deals with the matter, a study of matter and its properties and their interconversions. That all we are going to study under chemistry. So chemistry is that branch of science where we are going to discuss about the matter, the various forms of matter, the properties of matter, and how the different forms of matter react to form a new product and how that all process takes place. That all is the part of chemistry. But in order to understand chemistry, the first thing which you should know very well, that is about matter. After all, what is matter? So first chapter of your chemistry syllabus is only about this, that the matter in our surroundings. So we come to our point, what is matter? Matter, if we say in a literal word, anything which we see around us in our surroundings, which we can see, which we can touch, which we can feel, that all is matter, right? So in simple layman terms, anything which you can see, which you can touch, which you can feel will be considered as matter, right? So there are different views given by different scientists and different philosophers in order to explain the matter. So first such concept was given by the Greek philosophers. According to Greek philosophers, there are 4 states of matter, and these 4 states or 4 forms of matter are earth, water, air and fire. So earth, water, air and fire are the 4 states of matter, but later on the Indian philosophers, you can say, have added one more form. So our ancient Indian philosophers they have added one more form and told that there are 5 states or 5 forms of matter, and these 5 forms of matter are earth, water, air, fire, and of course that the 5th one added is sky. So these are said to be the Panch Tattva, which we call in our mythology. These are the Panch Tattva of all the matter is made up of. So in scientific terms, what is matter? In scientific terms, the scientific definition given here is that anything in the universe that has mass and occupies space is called matter. So, in the scientific terms, the scientific definition for matter is anything that we see in the universe that has mass and that occupies space, or in other words, we can say that has volume. Is called a matter, right? So many examples of matter you can observe. You can observe variety of matter around us like table, chairs, toys, scooters, cars, pencils, anything. You can name anything which you can see, which you can touch, which you can feel is matter, right? So if all that is matter, then what is not matter? So if we talk about not matter, so not matter means we have different things. Not matter means you can say all feelings and emotions. Emotions and sensations like happiness, you are feeling happy, is a feeling, is not a matter, it is just a feeling. Emotions means, for example, you are having hatred for something, so this hatred is just your emotion, not a matter. Sensation like smell, hearing of sound, feeling something hot or cold. These all are not matter. So, any feeling, any emotion, any sensation, that is not matter, right? Similarly, we can have forms of energies. Forms of energies like heat, sound, etc. is also not matter, right? So, these are something that should not be considered as matter. And there is a small discussion about the nature of a smell. Say, if we talk about a smell, if we say only a smell means a sensation. It may be good smell, it may be bad smell. So, a smell is having the sensation, and when we say it is a smell, that means it is a sensation and it is not a matter. But if we say that smell of perfume or a smell of some gas, then these are considered as matter. Because when we say smell of perfume or a smell of gas, means these particles of the matter are entering our nostrils and producing the sensation of that particular smell, right? So in that way, that is the matter, right? So if somebody just says a smell, then a smell means purely a sensation which is not a matter. But if it is specified a smell of something, then that smell of something is a matter, right? So now the another debate which started here after the concept of matter was clear, then another debate which started here is about the nature of matter. After all, what is this matter? What is the matter? What is the nature of matter? So if we talk about the nature of matter, there are two different schools of thought that have two different views here. According to first view, it was said that matter is continuous, and the another school of thought says that matter is discontinuous, it is particulate. But later on, the studies and experiments have proved that matter is not continuous, it is particulate. Particulate means that matter is made up of very tiny particles, right? For example, if I have this piece of chalk, I keep on breaking, it breaks. It again, if you break, it will again breaks, and again it breaks. You keep on dividing it again and again, and ultimately you will arrive a point where you are having such a small particle of matter, which we can say is the smallest particle of matter, which is further indivisible, which cannot be further broken down into smaller pieces, right? So this shows that matter is made up of particles, and that's why matter is said to be particulate. And then different scientists have given its the different name, like Maharishi Kanad. If we talk about Maharishi Kanad has given the name the smallest particle as Parmanu. So Parmanu, according to Maharishi Kanad, is the smallest particle of matter. And the same particle was named as atom by Democritus. The same smallest particle of matter was named as Democritus by, named as atom by Democritus, right? So we can perform an activity to prove or to show that matter is particulate in nature. So here we have an activity to prove that matter is particulate. For that, to prove that, let's have a glass of water containing some amount of water, and you mark the level of water in the glass. You take a tumbler, fill it with some amount of water and mark the level of water, and now you add or dissolve some amount of sugar or salt. You add few teaspoons of sugar or salt, and you will observe that sugar or salt that gets dissolved here, and if we observe the water level does not change, it remains same. Why this happens? Because the sugar or salt, whatever you have added, as it is made up of very tiny particles, these tiny particles get accommodated in the spaces between water molecules. That's why we don't observe any change in the level of water. So it proves that matter is made up of particles, and when we add this sugar or salt into water, these particles, they get separated and we do not observe any change in the level of water. But give it a thought, if we would have added, say, a block of wood or a block of iron, then what would happen? Then obviously the water level would have increased. If instead of adding sugar or salt, you would have added a block of wood or block of water, iron, then what would happen? Of course, the water level would have increased. What does it show? Can we say that this block of wood or this block of iron is not made up of particles? No. Then why we are not observing the same level of water as we have seen in case of sugar or salt? Give it a thought, and about this I'll be answering you in the next lecture when I'll discuss about the properties of particles of matter. Right? So keep in mind while discussing about the properties of the particles of matter, then I'll discuss then why the water level changes when we add a block of wood or block of iron in water. Right? So in next lecture we'll be starting about the properties of the particles of matter. Goodbye till then.